India is one of the countries with the longest history and the largest population in the world. Today, a simple comparison is made between the historical development of China and India, mainly through the method of comparison in the same period. Number 1. Ancient China and India. In terms of time, Indian civilization is second only to that of ancient Egypt and the Two River Civilization. Since 1921, archaeologists have found ancient civilization cities in the Indus River basin. Among them, Mohenjo-Daro ancient city site is the first large-scale ancient city in the world, with an area of about 8 square kilometers and a population capacity of about 40,000. The city has a complete drainage system, and its dense and underground waterways are surprising. They existed from about 2,500 to 1,700 years ago, which is about 500 years earlier than the Xia dynasty in China. The total area of early Tou site, which is regarded as the site of Xia civilization, is 3 square kilometers, less than half of that of India. Then important historical changes took place in both China and India. Under the leadership of the Shang dynasty, China's bronze smelting has developed maturely and its civilization has begun to transition to a higher stage. At the same time, the Shang dynasty also believed in gods and ghosts. People used tortoise shells, ox bones for divination. This left people a wealth of oral bone inscriptions. About 1700 BC, the Aryans in the northwest conquered the Indus civilization and developed the Vedic culture. This is also the time when Indian culture was established. The book Rig Veda appeared, and India's caste system was formed at that time. The Aryans became of noble descent. There are many similarities between the Shang dynasty of China and the Vedic era of India, such as the belief in religion and the existence of slavery. Around 1000 AD, China entered the Western Zhou dynasty, while India entered the late Vedic era. At that time, the differentiation between China and India began to develop in many directions. The Zhou dynasty of China changed the tradition of respecting heaven and ghosts in the Shang dynasty, and they paid high attention to agricultural production, emphasized respecting heaven and protect the people. The tradition of people-oriented thought appeared in China, and the etiquette system began to mature. However, India continued to follow the religious path. They developed the Vedic culture to the top. At this time, Indian Brahmanism began to appear. In the Vedic era, the culture of China and India can be said to have their own characteristics. However, the invasion of the Aryans once caused a great social regression, made India's economy and politics develop again from the military-dominated era. Then China's spring and autumn period and the warring state period are regarded as an integral part of the World Axis era. At the same time, the ancient Greek and the Roman civilization illuminated the Mediterranean, while the Indian civilization began to burst out toward the world. At that time, the state of vassal succession also appeared in India. Around 600 BC, there were about 16 countries in India known as the 16 Great Powers. Magadha Kingdom is the strongest among all these countries, just like the Qin state in the same period of China. The 16th state era in India is also the era of ideological explosion. People have reflected and criticized the Brahman thought. New thoughts and religions such as Buddhism appeared. Buddhism gradually became the most widespread religion in India, which was late established as a state religion by Muyanan dynasty. At the same time, Buddhism also spread to the whole South Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, Western region, Asia, and other places, become one of the three major religions in the world. At the same time, Brahmanism began to transform and gradually developed into Hinduism. Number 2. Middle Age. In 221 BC, the first emperor of Qin established China's first unified empire, and he unified language, writing, and various measurement units. For the next 400 years, China was a great empire standing in East Asia. In the Qing and Han dynasty, China carried out the era of prefecture and county system. The establishment of centralization and monarchy followed by a large number of projects, such as the Great Wall, mausoleum of the first emperor of Qin, and the Weiyang Palace. China's various schools of thought has also been moving forward towards integration and unification. From the Han Dynasty, the successful integration of Neo-Confucianism has become the official thought of China. At the same time, a series of cultural achievements has emerged in China, such as 9-chapter arithmetic, Huangdi's internal classic, treatises on typhoid and miscellaneous diseases, and a large number of famous scientists has emerged. At the same time, India was also outstanding. In 260 BC, Asoka of the Mauryan dynasty unified India, implemented the administrative system, and established the centralized power. At that time, Buddhism was established as the national religion of India, and Buddhism entered its heyday. At the same time, Indian culture also made considerable achievements. For example, the book on political affairs became one of the most important political science works in the world at that time. At the same time, the Brahmanism in this period also continued to develop, and two epics, Mahabharata and Ramayana, appeared. After a period of unification, China and India began to split almost at the same time. In 184, the Yellow Turban Rebellion broke out in the Eastern Han Dynasty. Since then, it has fallen into the era of great division. During this period, there was a new trend of cultural integration in China. Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism collided violently in China and also continued to merge. In India, after the death of Asoka, the empire fell into a split. Yu's state in the Central Asia took the opportunity to attack India and established a powerful Kasana Empire along the Indus River. The Kasana Empire regards Buddhism as the state religion and pushes it to a new peak. Then Hinduism and Mahayana Buddhism rose and continued to spread widely.